The presentation of Mark of our gospel today is rather unique from any presentation that we usually hear when we go to Mass. Usually when we read the gospel or we hear the gospel, there is only one story. We have the end and we arrive at the conclusion of the story. But our gospel today is a presentation of two stories. But the presentation of unique because the first part of the first story was presented. And then here comes the second story, which was ended. And after the second story was ended, the continuation of the first was introduced again until it ends. So the second story was actually sandwiched within the main story. Now let's go to the story so that maybe we can derive some message for us today. What is God's message on this gospel, which is very unique? Now let's go to the characters of the story. You know, when we go to the movie, and when the movie begin to be shown in front of us, we identify who is the main character, who are those people who are against the main character, or the rest of the characters of the story. So in this story, let us identify the first, Jairus. Jairus was identified in our gospel today as an official. He was a synagogue official. He was working in the synagogue. He was working in the temple. And his being an official is not just an ordinary, but he belongs to the main officials of the synagogue. He has a very important task in the synagogue. So obviously, his title, synagogue official, is a very significant, very important, it signifies a very important person. And his name was identified, Jairus. So he probably exercised oversight over the community and the religious and the social affair. And so Jairus was an important person in Capernaum. Now, on the second part of the story was introduced. The woman was not identified by name. She was a nobody. So you see, she was unnamed. She was described only as the bleeding woman. So in other words, she was anonymous. A woman without a name, a nobody. And the last contrast is that Jairus was named. The woman was a nobody. He was a male. And of course, the woman was a female. And in the Jewish community, women are nobody. They are at the level of the domesticated animals, the levels of the dogs. So therefore, a person of low social status in the Jewish community. So because of her constant states of bleeding, she was also considered ritually unclean. You know, for the Jews, blood is very important because blood signifies life. So if you are letting your blood flow, then you are letting the life flow out of your body. And this is an abomination before God. That is why, if we go back to the story of the bleeding woman, she did not present herself in front of Jesus. And she did not ask for healing because she knows that she is in the state of uncleanliness because of the blood, the bleeding that is in her. So what she did was to touch secretly. And obviously, the tassel, the cloak, the clothes of Jesus, because she believed that if she would touch the clothes of Jesus, she will be healed. So her condition was shameful. That is what motivates her indirect approach from behind Jesus. She must not have been touching anything or anybody. In the Jewish community, during the first century, if you are bleeding or if the women are having their monthly period, they stay at home. They should not touch anybody. Because that if they would touch another person, that person would also be unclean. So here comes now the contrast between the two. Jairus, an official, very famous, and with authority. In contrast with him is this woman bleeding, a nobody, unnamed. Now, let's go now to the act of Jesus. The remarkable thing of this parallel, although they are opposite, is that Jesus treat them exactly with the same degree of love, concern, and the same degree of care. Although they are opposite, Jesus healed them both with the same intensity, degree of love, and care. So socially, they are opposed, yet in the eyes of Jesus, they are both worthy of His undivided attention, undivided care, undivided healing. That is Jesus. Jesus don't care if you are a nobody, if you are an unofficial, if everybody knows you. If you open your heart to Him, He will immediately answer whatever you want, even if you have a name. So you see here in our gospel today, Jesus never sees the status of a person. Jesus would not say, "Are you a blue card holder? Are you a white card holder? Are you a diplomat?" But Jesus would always say, what is in our heart? That is what counts on Jesus. So Jesus has not come to save group of persons and nations. He has come to save individual persons, people like you and me. People with name, without name, with face, without face, with a story or even not a story. He had come to all of us. So in the eyes of God, each of us is a precious and unique, that He sent His own beloved Son to die for each of us. Jesus gave His life for each one of us. If I had been the only sinner in the universe, Jesus will still have died for me. If you are the only sinner in the universe, Jesus would come to die for you. If the President of the Philippines, President Duterte, would the last sinner in the world, asking for help, Jesus, God, will come for him to save him. So God is not stupid, as President Duterte is saying. You know, for most of you who are not Filipinos, our president in the Philippines is having difficulty with the Catholic Church, that he waged war with the Catholic Church, and he said, God is stupid. That is why today we are praying for him. We don't wage war with him also. He's a person who needs compassion. So I ask the Filipinos in Macau and our brothers and sisters who are even not Filipinos to pray for our president. So God is not stupid. God is a loving God. God is a compassionate God. God is a loving person. So if President Duterte would come to God and would say, Lord, I am sorry, God will embrace him. God will smile for him because he is a God of compassion, God of love. And that is our God. So brothers and sisters, our gospel today, the stories of our gospel today is saying to us that we are free to come to Jesus wherever we are or whoever we are. You may feel that you are a nobody, or maybe if you just have an headache or toothache, and you will say, I will not disturb God with my toothache and my headache. He might be busy attending those who are having cancer or those who are having malignant diseases. No, don't say that. God would not attend to each and every one of us. Whenever we feel something bad in our lives, God will attend to whatever we wanted Him to attend to us. So as we continue our celebration today, let us thank Him for those moments in our lives that He cares. He embraces with His compassion and love. Let us thank Him for those moments that we don't care about Him. And let us thank Him, let us be grateful to Him for those moments that He protected us, even though we don't care. Every day, when we wake up in the morning, and we went to the office, and we start working, we don't even maybe look up to the heavens, to the clouds, and say, Lord, thank you very much for this beautiful morning, for the beautiful messages I received from my cell phone. reminding me that you exist and you are not stupid and that you love me, reminding me that you care for me always. Sometimes we forget about that. We forget about God and we forget that He cares. That is why on a Sunday like this is an opportunity for us to remind ourselves that from Monday to Saturday, we give 1 hour. And this 1 hour should be a moment of gratefulness to God. To say to God, Lord, I forgot about you from Monday to Saturday. This is the moment that I give you myself. I offer myself to you as an act of thanksgiving so that my presence in the church is a very presence, my action, my singing with the choir, my listening to the gospel will be my giving of thanks to you because I also care for you much as you care for me. So God must have been so happy if every day that would be our feeling of gratefulness, feeling of thanksgiving. After all, the Eucharist is an act of thanksgiving to God, for this God who loves us. Let us all stand. We profess our faith.